I remember when I was a kid, I used to play sports. I used to play baseball, played basketball, and I collected baseball cards. I used to love that stuff when I was a kid. And collecting baseball cards was a good way for kids to learn about the game, batting averages, who the players were. It's how we sort of educated ourselves about what was going on. And then as I got older, I guess I need to go back, because part of the reason I had a sort of a love-hate relationship with the sports was because from a young age I had a hip disease. It's called Legg-Perthes disease, and it's a best way I can describe it is it's a sort of a genetic anomaly. It's where the hip socket, the bone in the hip socket, it's called necrosis of the bone. And the bone, for whatever reason, lost blood supply and died, and it sort of just crumbled. It's like cottage cheese, or it's flat. My hip, like a cow joint almost. And from a young age, well, probably 8 or 9, I was a really fast runner in my class, and then all of a sudden, anything that I planned on doing sports-wise was over. There was never a talk. I think it was this slow realization that I had to come to over the course of my childhood, where I knew I wasn't going to be a runner, an athlete, and then to get older and realize, okay, I'm not going to be able to go into the Air Force. And I'm not bringing that story up to have a whine fest, poor me kind of shit, but it changed my thinking about sports. Now, I always used to think that I lost interest in sports because I couldn't play, and there was a lot of frustration as a kid around that subject, but I think the real reason as an adult I lost interest in sports was because those spaces were sort of filled in by women. I noticed that women were sort of invading what was traditionally masculine spaces. Because when I was a kid, girls weren't interested in sports. Even as a young teenager and then early adulthood, I don't remember a lot of women being interested in sports. But slowly, I see all around me women becoming interested in masculine things. And I think on a subconscious level, I just lost interest because it was something that women were invading, and I didn't feel like I had my own space, and it was just like I was tired of it, And I notice a lot of guys nowadays a lot more and more men nowadays are not interested in sports. Like, I have guys that work for me, I can't bring up a basketball game. Not that I'm really into it either. But I can't really bring up a NASCAR race or a basketball game or what's going on in football. They're totally tuned out. And I think part of it is because those spaces were infiltrated by women trying to be masculine. And it's not that men are not trying to be masculine, it's just that they've pulled out of those spaces because they were invaded by women, okay? And so it's sort of had a reverse effect on the culture between men and women. So I don't know exactly what that means, or I don't know exactly what it means, but men don't. It's not just that women are invading masculine spaces; it's that men are becoming more feminized. I don't know if it was conditioned out of us, if it's being conditioned out of us because of the school system and pop culture and TV, or if it's just this sort of natural process that is taking place because women are equal to us, because they're out there working and doing masculine things. It's causing men almost on a hindbrain level to sort of retreat out to feminine areas. And so, in a lot of ways, feminism is to blame for the feminization of men. And women are not attracted to that. They say they are, but those guys that have that sort of feminine nature, when they get into relationships, those guys get frustrated. You know, because they know their girlfriends want to fuck a masculine dude. And that's the truth. Women do not want to have a boy. The guy that they want to have be their boyfriend is not the same guy they want to fuck. And that sort of dichotomy, that dual sexual strategy that Rollo Tomasi is always talking about, is becomes so pronounced that it's painfully obvious now. And that's what's fucking up the sexual marketplace. So anyway, just a thought.